Jive, you've been on a long journey, and you went public, and now you're out there kind of in the spotlight. And I just want to ask you about how it's been going, now as a public company, and what that's been like for you as a company.
Our agenda in going public was really to establish, the legitimacy of social software in the enterprise, and to use it in a way that delivers on business value, which is, as you and I have discussed, the only way you get paid for it, which, being public is the precursor that you really do deliver business value. You really are able to, in fact, extract value from the customer base. So it's been a year now. It's been a great year for us. We've grown substantially over the course of the year. We've expanded our footprint in the marketplace. We've penetrated and continued to penetrate big, large, blue chip enterprise customers. And the enterprise has become cool again. I mean, at the time we were going public, it was a lot about games and coupons and radio stations. It seems now that the enterprise, alive and well, thriving, and on the back of the fact that companies who are able to establish value are in fact going to be rewarded for it.
Right, and I remember a lot of times people were comparing you to Facebook and saying you're doing social in the enterprise and things like that. But this past year, the social and consumer companies have had a little bit of a, mixed results in the market. So now it's interesting to see the enterprise has really become a focus for investors, analysts, the media. What's your outlook in terms of that? Do you see a lot more opportunity both for Jive and for new companies in enterprise software, in cloud software, and things like that?
Yeah, I really believe so. I think we've turned the page on the whole Facebook and Twitter for the enterprise. That was a great way to describe social software in the enterprise when you had 10 seconds at a cocktail party to describe it. But we've kind of closed that chapter and we've moved on. As I've discussed, it's about how do you change the way companies work ultimately? How do you deliver on employee productivity? McKinsey's published a study, and they're here at the conference and they'll be talking about it. The fact that the social economy is capable of unlocking through social technologies 20 to 25% more workforce productivity. If you could give a day back to every knowledge worker in the enterprise to do better engineering, better marketing, better selling, better servicing, wow, wouldn't that be a productivity enhancement? So that's the chapter we've moved into now. It's not just this cool new social networking thing, but it's really about how do companies take advantage? How do they make it mission critical? How do you, in fact, expand the usage of the product? It's no longer about how many users do you have, how many are engaged and working differently to produce a better selling outcome, a better marketing outcome, a better service outcome, those types of things. I think during the course of the year we've seen all of the large incumbent enterprise software companies declare some type of solution in this space. It's almost like they don't want to be left out because they might have missed the wave that there's a new way to get work done. We've spent billions of dollars automating the enterprise, business processes, infrastructure, applications. But what have we done for the people, really? We've given them email, 35-year-old application as the means by which they, in fact, can collaborate and become more productive. So I think this year has been about transitioning to what's the value that these types of solutions provide in the enterprise, and we've taken advantage of that.
What's the competitive landscape like? Microsoft acquired Yammer, Salesforce has Chatter, and there's a couple other players, but what do you see in the marketplace?
Right, I think as I said earlier, I think the large incumbent enterprise software companies who all have another agenda. Their applications, if I'm Salesforce, I'm interested in automating sales or marketing more recently or service. If I'm SAP or Oracle, I have a different agenda. If I'm Microsoft, I'm trying to protect my office productivity turf. And so I think it's pretty clear that all of the companies have seen that there's just a better way to get work done. It's been proven in the consumer world at a size and scale and pace unlike anything we've ever seen in the history of technology. Bringing that to the enterprise is a whole different matter. It is a competitive market. We distinguish and differentiate ourselves on the fact that it's all we do. We are the one sole public company that, in fact, only does social collaboration software inside the enterprise, outside the enterprise, facing one's customers and partners. We deliver it out of the public cloud, out of the private cloud, mobile, you name it. You mentioned some of the mega trends, like what's going on in the space. Well, obviously, social is one of the big four, as I would call it. Clearly, cloud, mobility, you have to be asleep to miss that. Social software, and on the back of big data, you have all of these interactions with people and places and content. That's how work gets done. It generates a tremendous amount of information. Navigating that, being intelligent, using the social graph inside the system in a way that produces personalized results such that people get work done. This isn't about how was dinner last night or how was the play, right? This is about, hey, what's the quote on the new system at the new customer? How do I defeat this competitor's strategy? How do I solve this customer's problem? That's what we're holistically focused on, and everybody's playing catch up to Jive.
You did a couple acquisitions recently. Can you talk about some of the expansions you're doing in that direction?
We have done 5 acquisitions since I've been CEO. We just announced 2 this past Monday when we announced our third quarter earnings. A company called Productive does cloud-based social task management, essentially integrating the fact that we all make lists to get things done in work groups, and around those lists conversations take place on mobile devices, and we're off to the races. The second one was called Meetings.io. The integration of video and the use of video in a real-time chat capability in and around a collaborative platform where networking's going on and work is being done, we believe is a fundamental piece of the social platform we're delivering. So those 2 acquisitions will in fact be a robust part of the product platform next year, and we continue to look aggressively for technologies that we believe will maintain our technology leadership, both as a broad platform, but also as a very deep platform capable of delivering that business value I talked about.
Your IPO was last year, and since then there's been a number of pretty successful, I would say, enterprise or cloud sort of IPOs over this past year. What do you think that says about the market, and what do you expect coming out next year?
Having been the CEO of several enterprise public companies, I think what that says is that the enterprise never left, meaning the consumer wave happened in a very big way, but the enterprise never left, and there were always substantial value opportunities, value propositions, and therefore opportunities in the market, starting with Jive at the end of last year, and then I believe in Perva and a whole number of other enterprise software companies. This year we've seen not only Workday, but we've seen Splunk, Palo Alto Networks, and the list goes on and on and on of companies in the queue in the enterprise arena, both software and infrastructure plays. I think it comes full circle back to where we started our discussion. If you can solve a business problem that drives increased revenue, employee productivity per the McKinsey study, where they say there's a massive opportunity, and we all know McKinsey doesn't do anything for free, so for them to publish a 170-page report on the opportunity that the social economy presents itself through the use of these technologies, I think companies and investors are taking note of that. Shareholders that hold those enterprise stocks see models that they're very familiar with, reoccurring revenue streams, SaaS models, infrastructure models, all these types of things. These in fact give them comfort that these are sustainable long-term businesses that have growth opportunities and of course earnings potential.